Okay, let's go over linear relationships assignment day 5. Okay, number 1, Jake has $1,000. Each week he plans to add $75 to this amount. Okay, so he's going to start with this, and then he's going to add each week. He's going to add $75 to this amount. He would like to have at least 3,850 saved. Write and solve an inequality to determine the number of weeks Jake needs to save. Okay, so if he started with 1,000 and then he added $75 each week, okay, that's how we would start with that. And then it says he would like to have at least, so this needs to be greater than or equal to $3,850, because this side can be equal to, but it could be greater. Okay, this needs to be at least 3,850. So that's how that inequality would be written out. Okay, so let's look at our answer choices. Determine if the statements are true or false. Select the correct answer in each row. Now, before I do that, I'm going to read my inequality again. 1,000, which is what he started with, plus 75W, because he adds 75 each week, needs to be greater than or equal to 3,850. Okay, so this first one says an inequality to represent this situation is 75W plus 1,000, which those are just switched, and that's fine, is less than or equal to 3,850. That one has to be false because it's saying what he earns needs to be less than or equal to 3,850. When in all reality, what Jake is trying to do is earn at least this much, maybe even more. That would be great for him. So, false. Jake needs to save at least 38 weeks. Ooh, I don't know. We'll have to solve for W to figure that out. Okay, so what we would do, so minus 1,000 minus 1,000. So then I have 75W is greater than or equal to 2,850. Okay, then I have to divide by 75. Divide by 75. So let me take 2,850, put that in the house. 75. Okay. 75 plus 75 is 150. Plus 75 is 225. So 75 times 4 is going to be, that's going to be 300. So it has to be 3. Let's do 75 times 3, 15, 21. That's going to be 225. Okay. So 5 minus 5 is 0. 8 minus 2 is 6. Okay. And then bring down our 0 here. So how many times will 75 go into 600? Well, if 75 times 4 is 300, then 75 times 8 is going to be 600. Okay, so W is greater than or equal to 38. So he is going to have to work more than or equal to or more than 38 weeks. So he needs to save at least 38 weeks. Yes, that is true. An inequality represent this situation is 75 plus 1,000 W. That's not right because he doesn't save $1,000 each week, so it cannot be that. Jake needs to save no more than 38 weeks. That's not true. He needs to save more than or equal to 38 weeks. So that one's false. And then an inequality to represent this situation is 75W plus 1,000, which is what we have here. We just kind of flip-flopped it, which is fine, is greater than or equal to 3,850. True. All right. Here, on number 2, find the rate of change in B value and write the equation of each of the following. So we're looking for the equation y equals mx plus b. B is just whatever your y is when x is 0. So our b is going to be 4. Okay, and then m, remember, m is your change in y over your change in x. Change in y divided by change in x. Okay, so our change in y, let's look at it. How do you go from 4 to 6? Plus 2. 6 to 8 plus 2. 8 to 10 plus 2. So our change in y is going to be 2. Okay, and then change in x. How do you go from 0 to 3? Plus 3. 3 to 6 plus 3. 6 to 9 plus 3. So our change in x is going to be 3. So our m is going to equal 2/3. Okay, change in y over change in x. So y equals 2/3 x plus 4. There's your equation. Okay, let's look at this next table. Same thing, y equals mx plus b. We look for our b. We look when x is 0, whatever this is going to be our b. So it's -4. So we're just going to write -4 because it's the same thing. Okay, so we're just going to write -4 there. Take away that add b and just put -4. Now we're looking for our m. M is change in y over change in x. So what's our change in y? How do we go from -4 to 0? We go plus 4. 0 to 4 plus 4. 4 to 8 plus 4. Okay, here, 0 to 1 plus 1. 1 to 2 plus 1. 2 to 3 plus 1. Okay, so our change in y is going to be 4. And our change in x is going to be 1. And any number over 1 is just itself. So our m is 4. So y equals 4x minus 4. Okay, let's look at this one. So that's how you go about it if you have a table. Okay, so now if you have a graph, we're still looking for the equation y equals mx plus b. Okay, b is wherever the line is going to cross through the y-intercept. Okay, so I'm looking through, where does it cross? It crosses here at +2, so our b is 2. And then I also look like, is the line going down or is it going up? If it's going down, my m is going to be negative. If it's going up, like this one, my m is going to be positive. So in this instance, my slope is going to be negative, okay, because the line is going down. But when you have a line, you plot 2 perfect points. So let's plot 2 perfect points. I've got like this one, and I like this one. Okay, it has to go through the corner of a square. Okay, so like for instance, you could not plot this point right here because it does not go through the corner of a square. So then you connect them. Okay, and then you write the change. So the change here is 2, and the change here is 1. This is the change in x, because x goes this way. This is the change in y. So m equals change in y over change in x. Okay? So our change in y, which is this way, is going to be 1. Our change in x is this way. That's going to be 2. Okay? So our m is 1/2. And we said the line's going down, so our slope is going to be negative. So y equals -1/2 x plus 2. So y equals -1/2 x plus 2. Y'all can come in. I'm recording real quick. Okay, let me finish. Hey, get people at the door and tell them to be quiet, okay? Okay, right here, we have another line. Okay, we're still looking for the y equals mx plus b. Okay, so same kind of thing here. I look to see where the line goes through the y-axis. So this is my y. It goes through right here at -1. So my b is going to be -1. And then my slope, my m, equals change in y over change in x. So let's plot 2 perfect points. I like this one and this one, and then let's connect them. Okay, so the change here from here to here is 2, and the change from here to here is 1. Okay, so my change in y goes this way. See, right here is your y. It tells you y goes this way. The change this way is 2, and the change this way is 1. And any number over itself, over 1, is just itself. So our m equals 2. Look at the line. Is it going up? If it's going up, our slope's going to be positive. So y equals 2x minus 1. Okay, and then lastly right here, okay, we've got fractions. Dividing fractions is easy as pie. Just flip the second and multiply. So you've got this right here, okay? Then you just multiply across the top. 5 times 8 is 40. Multiply across the bottom. 6 times 5 is 30. And then you simplify. 40 over 30, so I can divide by 10 over 10. You can always do 2 if they're even. You can do 2, or and you'd have to do it several times, or you can find a bigger number that will go into both of them. 40 divided by 10 is 4. 30 divided by 10 is 3. So 4/3 is your improper fraction. To change it to a mixed number, you put the top number in the house. Okay, 3 will go into 4 one time. 1 times 3 is 3. So my improper fraction is 4/3, which then equals 1 1/3. Alrighty, there we go.